Good evening, and welcome to Let's Talk Shop with Russ. And I keep on wondering when I'm going to mess up and do the scrolling with Russ thing on here. And I keep on wondering when I'm going to do the Let's Talk Shop with Russ over there on the scrolling with Russ when I do that. So, but good time tonight. We've been in the pre-show chatting around and kind of looking over there into the chat section itself. Good to have everybody out there. Inspired Woodworks, Dan Inge Woodworking, Chris Nealon's out there, James Parker. Good to see all y'all out there in the chat already. Heck, I think we had like 19 or 20 before the show ever started out there in the chat. So that's awesome. So, man, this pollen and this weather here in Florida. I love Florida, but this year has been an up, down situation with the weather. And this pollen is just wreaking havoc on myself and my wife too. She's been having a lot of problems. There are days whenever you just don't feel, got a pounding headache and you can't hardly breathe. And it's just been terrible around here lately. So I'm actually looking forward to going to Atlanta next week. And that's one thing I need to make sure everybody knows. There will not be a show next Saturday night. I may try to throw something live together on Facebook or whatever, but as far as a basic show like we normally have, no, because I'm going to the Atlanta Woodworking Show. I'm actually going to leave out here Thursday, so I'll be up there Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then come back Sunday. So we'll probably do the following show the next weekend, which is, let me pull up the calendar. The 24th, we might do a recap of the Atlanta Woodworking Show, and maybe I'll have some video or stuff. We'll see how that goes, but definitely not going to be a show next Saturday night. Sorry, but like I said, I'm going to be in Atlanta, so hopefully I'll get to see a whole bunch of woodworkers. From what I understand, it's going to be a pretty good showing. Southern Woodworkers have got a booth with Zach, and we got a discounted room rate because of that, so it all looks fantastic. So I'm hoping to have a good time. I'll be posting naturally over on Facebook. If you follow me over on Facebook, I'll be posting over there. And like I said, I might try to do something kind of live video over on Facebook, but it's definitely, as far as a structured show, no, there won't be any because I'm going to be too busy. I thought about that. Sterling said do a live show in the lobby. I thought about trying to do that. It's not impossible, but if I was a betting man, I would bet against it. But I'll check it out. It just somewhat depends on their internet, because there is no wired internet there. It's all Wi-Fi, and so it depends on the signal and everything. But I'll be having so much of a good time with all my other friends that, hey, I don't know if that I'll want to try to do a show. I'm sorry. It's like I need a break every once in a while, you know. So I hope you understand that. I hope everybody understands that. So Martin Cole out there in the chat section. So that's really all of the announcements that I have to make, just about that. It probably won't be a show next week. 99% sure there probably won't be one. And that's about all I can think of off the top of my head, other than my fantastic sponsors, which are Devobal Technologies for web design, development, and hosting. Go to devobal.com, and FastCap. Innovative products for the professional woodworker. Go to fastcap.com. Rockler, 60 years in woodworking. Create with confidence. Visit rockler.com. They have all kinds of awesome tools over there. Bearwood Supply Company, your best choice for hard-to-find woodworking supplies. Go to bearwood.com. They have clock parts, the Pegasus blades that they supply me with that I use on Scrolling with Russ. They have them, and they're really good blades, so try them out. Klingspor, the sanding specialist, and they are woodworkingshop.com. They have a lot of stuff there other than just sandpaper. Now, they're known for their sandpaper. Their sandpaper is very good, but they have a lot of other tools on the woodworkingshop.com. And then last but not least, Seiko, the scroll saw specialist, Seiko.com. They are the ones that I have my brand new Seiko scroll saw, and I'm actually loving it. I'll give you a little report now. I've used it for, what has it been, a couple of weeks. I've been so busy around here. I haven't had time to really sit down a lot, other than with the show and a few other things that I've done on it. But I love the saw. It cuts smooth. It cuts great. the problem I'm having with is user error, and that is because I'm not used to the blade clamps. So I'm having a little bit of a problem getting the blade in there and getting it locked in right and everything. But after using a DeWalt for, 10, 15 years, however long I've been using that thing, you get it's like, what is it? Muscle, whatever, where you're, what are you doing? Al?
Muscle memory.
I was doing what you have to do on the DeWalt, hold it down and tighten it up.
Oh, okay. You look kind of weird over there, dude. I hate to tell you this, but I was going like, what in the world is he doing on my show? Anyway, so yeah, muscle memory. Thank you, Donald. Yeah, you get so muscle memory, you like boom, 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 like in like 0.76 seconds or whatever, I could have it, the blade, on and locked down. So it's different with the Seiko. The blades are just holders are a little bit different. So, and then the tension for the blade is a swivel bar up there, and it's a flip lever over the top of the front. So that's a little bit different. It's nothing wrong. Do what?
Question.
Sure.
It's a long shot, but did you try to tilt the arm instead of the bed? I'd be interested to see what you thought of that. You probably didn't do it because it's so new.
Yes, I have done it several times, and it's awesome.
How was that?
Yeah, it's weird. Let me tell you, it's awesome though, because your table stays so flat, and then the head. I'm talking about, it moves so on the DeWalt. The table moves rather cumbersome. In other words, you have to like push it around to get it to the level, and then you get it locked in. You have to hit it with your hand to get it. You release that tension thing on the front of the head of the Seiko, and you just barely touch it. That sucker goes. I mean, it's like on grease bearings, because it wants to just go. I mean, it's like you can move it with one finger to the left or to the right. It's so easy to move. So yeah, it's a great saw, don't get me wrong. And the problems that I'm having are not, it's going to take me a little bit longer of using it. You don't use a saw for 10 years and then get a brother new saw that's different and get used to it that quick. So other than that, it cuts smooth, it cuts great. I've cut 2 or 3 projects on it for the scrolling with Russ, and I really, really like it. It's got a nice table. The magnetic top on it, I was able to wax it with some paste wax, and man, I mean, that thing's so slick. So yeah, it's really nice. I'm enjoying it. I really, really like it. So it'll take me a little bit of time to get used to that blade thingy, but once I do, it won't be a problem. So like I said, it has nothing to do with the saw. It has everything to do. See, the DeWalt, other than the DeWalt, the Sears is the Craftsman that I have, is the only other types of saw that I have. So they're a little bit different, so to speak, as far as the blade changing. So, all right. So I guess that's all I've got to say tonight. Let's go down the list, and I think, Brenda, you know the deal. You'll be last because you're the guest tonight talking about stuff. So let's start with and everybody's going to introduce themselves with Chris.
Hey guys, Chris here from the Old Cranky Workshop. Find me on Facebook, YouTube, and since I won't be in Atlanta, you'll find me in a local Irish pub next weekend. So yeah, this is Ernie. This is Ernie. Ernie's insisting on being introduced. So,
okay. I was hoping I get to see you.
Yep. Maybe next year.
Okay. So. And then Mr. Donald.
Wow, you startled me. I ain't used to being second. Anyway, I'm Donald Vlogs5 from Donald Vlogs5 Woodshop, also known as Donald Matthews. My YouTube channel, of course, is Donald Vlogs5 Woodshop. My website is redneckknowhow.com, and my Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram you can find on my YouTube channel.
Cool. Next is Mr. Matt Haas.
Hi, everyone. Matt from Awesome Wood Things YouTube channel. Can also find me on Facebook under Awesome Wood Things and Instagram under Matthew Haas Geek. I have a video on my YouTube channel. I'm trying to collect likes because I'm in a contest, and likes are half of the judging criteria. So if you go to my YouTube channel, Awesome Wood Things, and drop a like on that thing, I would be so thankful. I'm trying to start a business where I make kinetic wall sculptures out of wood. It's freaking awesome. So I appreciate that. Glad to be here too. Looking forward to Brenda's demo.
Okay, cool. Yes, and I went over there and gave him a like. So yeah, go over there and give him a like. If he wants to, after the show's over, post your link in the comment section so everybody can follow it. I'll try to remember to put it in.
I'll just put it in there now. So
okay, go ahead. That'll be fine. Martin Cole says, when you were showing your cat, he said, "I like cats. I just can't eat a whole one though." I was like, okay.
That's funny.
Yeah. All right. So next is Ken.
Okay, sorry, I had to get back over from YouTube, giving Matt a like over there. I'm Ken Moon from Moon Pie Creations. You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, and Google Plus. Yes, that thing is still real. And you can find me there. And this week or next weekend, you can find me over in Atlanta with Russ at the woodworking show.
Yep. I hope to have a fantastic time.
Where we're going to do a show.
Y'all are going to talk me into it, ain't you? Or you're going to try to?
Sterling and I are both sober. You're doing a show.
Okay. And then Mr. Al Forte.
Hey guys, Al Forte from Odessa Woodworking on Facebook, Odessa Woodworking and Maker Shop on YouTube, and Kilroy 79763 on Twitch. Been running some marathons, as it's been called, on YouTube. Go over and give some likes on Twitch, or some follows on Twitch and some likes on YouTube. Anyway, just for fun.
Cool. Matt, you going to be in Atlanta?
Yes, sir. I will be there. Looking forward to it.
Well, cool. And then next is Mr. Paul.
Hey, I'm Paul Corliss from Paul's Messy Workshop on YouTube, Paul's Messy Workshop on Instagram, and paulsmessyworkshop.com. And I'm on a hiatus right now while my neck heals. Thanks for having me on, Russ.
You're welcome. How are you feeling?
Hey, pretty good. Pretty good.
Pretty good. How's your wife?
Well, she's not as good.
Yeah.
She's coming along. They got her standing with a walker, so that's a big improvement.
Now, did they have to do anything like set it or surgery, anything to her?
No surgery, no traction, no nothing. It's just let it heal.
Oh, wow.
And if anybody's interested, what happened is I had neck surgery, and my wife is supposed to be my caregiver. And I got home from the hospital on Saturday, and the next Monday she went out to get the mail and fell in the driveway and broke her pelvis.
Wow.
So it's been an interesting time.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's coming along, though.
It reminds me of that song, Gloom, Despair, and Agony on Me, from Hee Haw. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. Yeah. Wow, that is terrible, though. I'm glad she's doing better, though.
Yeah, she's coming along.
Good.
Keep going, Russ, with that song.
Yeah. And then Shane and Shelley.
I'm trying really, really hard to do this because I still have a broken pinky and a broken pinky, but I managed to get it done, Al. That took a lot of effort. Okay.
What is that? Spock Love?
I am Shelley Cole from the channel Know What Mom Knows. Many of you know me as Mom as well. And I am deep in the Makers Rock art album art collaboration. And there's 36 makers out there. Matt Haas is running the thing, and it's going awesome. So y'all be checking out all the channels for the Makers Rock collaboration. And this here is my handsome husband. I don't know if you know that. Just thought I'd throw it out there. That guy right there.
Oh, me. Oh, okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Shane. You can find me on all your social media networks. Well, except MySpace. I'm not on there no more. But I am on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all those other, and even YouTube. I'm on YouTube also. Yeah, you gotta go check me out. It's fun. But you can find me under Shane's Hobby Shop. Also got a webpage from Devovo.com. It is Shane'sHobbyShop.com. Go check me out. Got some free plans for you. Even got a little spot to where you can show off your own projects that you built. So go check it out. Shane'sHobbyShop.com.
Yeah, I just want to quickly mention on my channel on March 15th, that's next week, I don't know, March 15th, I will be announcing a woodworking challenge. So be paying attention because it's going to affect the world. March 15th.
That's
all right.
5 days, folks. 5 days.
Okay.
5 days, yeah. And on March 15th, on my channel, not a single thing's going to happen.
There you go.
So just keep an eye on it.
I can't do no more challenges until I get the workbench finished. Just say.
I need a bass boat.
Yeah, I haven't been able to do. I was wanting to get in the Maker's Rock. I've just had so much going on here, replacing the roof. That has been a pain in the rear, especially because we got structural damage to the roof. So we had to. That's got to be repaired before you can put a new roof on. So I just haven't had time lately, and plus, and I sure.
Hey, Russ, one other thing real quick. I got my good friend Becky is in our chat right now. She's from Becky's Texas Wood Shop. Becky, I know last week you had that little incident, got you some stitches in your fingers. I hope you're doing much better. Glad to see you here, Becky.
Yes, and she just gave me a super chat. So thank you very much, Becky. I appreciate that very much. She says, always a great show. Thank you.
Superstar.
Yeah, I appreciate that very, very much. But I am not my chipper self tonight either. I mean, I've just felt, I went in this afternoon and took a nap for about an hour or so, just from all the sinus pressure and everything. I'm not the most chipper person tonight anyway. So, but anyway, got to get out of that because the show must go on. And now it is time to get to, I was going to do it on purpose, but I was going to say Debbie on purpose just to throw you off. But it's time to get over to Brenda. How you doing, Brenda?
I'm doing just fine, Russ.
Okay, now tell everybody where we can find you, and off we'll go.
Well, you can find me just about anywhere. I'm on YouTube. I have BrendaG's Designs on YouTube, and BrendaG's Designs on Twitch, and BrendaG's Designs on Patreon, and BrendaG's Designs on Twitter and Instagram and Etsy. So any place you look, you're going to find BrendaG's Designs.
Great. Just real quick before we go any further, Charlie Cork said, how's that new grandbaby, Russ? And I forgot to tell everybody about that. So let me tell that real quick. I don't want to spoil your day, but he's doing great. He's doing fine. He's at home with mom and doing fantastic. For those of you who don't know, as of Thursday night, I had my first great grandchild. So I'm a great grandfather. His name is Carter. He was like 6 pounds, 7 ounces or something, 6 pounds, 9 ounces or something like that. But he was born Thursday night. And he's doing really good. I've posted some pictures over there on Facebook. Him and mom are doing fantastic. They're both home. Like I said, they come home Saturday morning. So they're both doing fantastic. And it was a good birth, I guess you want to call it. I'm going if there's going to be a bad birth, but anyway, but they're both doing great. So thank you out there for mentioning that and let everybody know, yes, I am a great grandfather. So back to you and take off with it, Brenda.
Well, congratulations, Russ.
Thank you.
I guess I'm here tonight to talk about the engraver. This is called a power carver. And it is made by a company called SCM Systems, and you can find them at scmsystems.com. They are not a sponsor of mine. I just happen to like their engraving tool. It is an air-driven tool, and it comes with all different kinds of bits that you can get for it. When I got mine, you can just get the tool if you already have a compressor and all that. But when I got mine, I got the entire system. They have the air compressor, the muffler for the air compressor, so you can have the air compressor right in the same room with you, and the regulator as well as the air hoses and bits and the tool. And so I always suggest that if you're not into the power carving, that you might want to think about getting the entire system. That way you have everything that you need in order to get the job done. I have several different pieces here to show, and I'll show how this works, but I'm going to have to flip the camera around in order to do that. So let me kill the camera here real quick, Russ, and let me flip it, and then I'll be right back with you.
Cool. Is it, while you're doing that, I don't know if you can talk and see.
Sure, I can.
Is the compressor very loud?
Well, it's been running the whole time we've been talking.
Dang, I guess it is.
When you put the muffler on it, it kind of kills the sound on it, so you don't hear it, over the microphone much. I hear it here in the room with me, but it's
but I've heard compressors before that you wouldn't been able to talk in the same room, so that obviously is a fairly quiet compressor to normal compressors.
Exactly. Yeah, the muffler on it really kills the sound so that you don't get all that noise with it.
I actually have a California air compressor, and it is a very quiet air compressor.
Yeah. There's certain brands. I have an old Campbell Hosfield, but that's got to be 12 years old or 15 years old. He has no muffler, and that is you can put that in 20 miles away and hear it running.
Yeah, I have a great big air compressor out in the garage that, I use for garage work, and that thing would run you out of this house if you tried to bring it in the house to run it. But this is, it's about a 50-pound air compressor. I know that because when I got it, I dropped it on my foot and broke my foot. So I know it weighs about 50 pounds. But yeah, it's a fairly compact air compressor. I'm going to say it runs about 24 inches tall and about, 18 maximum inches deep. So it's not huge, and it sits right underneath a table over here, and I can run the air hoses up here to the desk to hook up my tools. I've got 2 hoses hooked up to the air compressor, one's for my airbrush and one's for my engraving tool. So, everything right here where I can get a hold of it. But this that I'm showing you here, this is a plaque that I did, and I'm going to have to move this camera a little bit here so that I can get this on here so that you can see it. But this is just a wood slab that I engraved with the power carver. I put a bunch of deers and some pine trees and some leaves and stuff on this, and carved it all out with the engraving tool that I just showed you. And then the background I did with a Dremel.
Michael Matthews wants to know, how does the air carver compare to the Fordham?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I've never used a Fordham. So all I can tell you about is this particular one, because this is the one that I use.
Okay.
And it's very simple to use. It has one speed, it's not adjustable or anything like that. The bits come out of it real easy. You push down on the plunger, the bit pops out the end of it. You unscrew the end, you pop a new one in, push it down hard so that you hear the click, and you screw it back on there at the end, and you're good to go. You just hit your air and you're working again.
Brenda, Alan Carter wants to know if you'd be able to show the compressor.
No, not the way I'm set up here. You can look at it there on SCM Systems. It'll show you. It's scmsystems.com. I'll show you the entire system right there and give you all the dimensions and everything for it.
Yeah, some of the stuff she's already set up to do the carving and show us. So
yeah, I've got everything set up here and wires run and everything and I've only got the one camera. So if I had a camera that I could move off the desk to show you, I would.
They're wanting to know too, another question, can it be reversed? Is it one way or only?
One way only.
One way only. And
Yep.
Sterling Davis says, I don't know who does your nails, but they're beautiful.
Oh, well, bless your heart. Thank you very much.
I actually said they're gorgeous, not beautiful. So
well, thank you. Got an Easter egg color now for Easter.
Yep.
Look, they're Lowe's color.
Now they're purple.
Yeah, that's purple. You need
blue.
You can't, you're colorblind.
I'll show you a little bit about how this works. You take a piece of wood and you put a pattern down, and the patterns, they come on it. Well, you can either print your own or you can buy packs of patterns that have things printed out on them. It's paper that is called peel and stick. I mean, how simple is that?
Yeah.
Peel and stick. And it is a really thin piece of plastic here that you peel off of the backing and you stick it down on whatever it is you're going to engrave. You can engrave about anything with this. I've engraved glass. I've engraved plastic. I've engraved gourds, leather, wood.
Sawdusto.
Sure you can. I've engraved on it. I certainly have. Shelley sent me some and I engraved on that too. Somebody asked me one day what I engrave on. I said, you hand it to me, I'll engrave on it. But you just peel it off and you stick it down on a piece of wood and then you carve it out. There's a piece that I did that everybody has really enjoyed, where I did a catfish.
That's cool.
And then I painted it up.
Yeah, I like that. That's cool.
So are the outlines of the catfish engraved and then the interior painted? Is that how that works?
Exactly. That's exactly how I did it.
Awesome.
And that's, as a matter of fact, I did that on one of my YouTube shows, showed exactly how I did that. I've engraved on leather. There's a leather barrette that I engraved and painted a little bluebird on that. Get it up to the camera a little better so you can see that. Painted a little bluebird on there where I engraved it in.
Isn't that cool?
And I've got a wood slab over here that I started putting a pattern on. And I thought, well, I'll just finish this up here on the show and show you how this works. But I put some little flowers down here on the bottom of it. And I've got this horse pattern. And so all you got to do is just peel it right off of the backing and then lay it down on whatever you're going to carve on. And I kind of center it up there and smooth it out. I mean, you can't get much simpler than that.
No, that is pretty
I just
simple.
heard the compressor come on.
Yeah, we all heard the compressor.
Did you hear it kick on?
Yeah.
But see, it's not running it out of here, and it's not, you know,
No,
overpowering me at all on here. But you can get these boxes from SCM that have the bits in them, and I've ordered extra bits for mine, and they come with, let's see, what is it here, 18 different sizes of bits that you can get for it. And you can get the ones that are diamond tipped, or you can get the ones that are carbide tipped, depending upon what you want to carve on. And I've got all kinds of bits in here in my little bit box. But for just doing outlines on things, I just use a thin, straight tip bit. It's a carbide bit on wood. And I can demonstrate this a little bit and show you how this works. But you just release the pressure there so that you get some air going through it. And you don't push. You just sit it to it and then pull it right across the line on your pattern. And just take your time. And just ease it right on down wherever your pattern is.
How many times you broke a bit?
I've had mine now for about 8 months, and I think I broke one bit.
Wow. But God, that sound is horrible.
Some people do not like the sound of it because it does sound like a dental drill. Essentially, that's what it is. But it doesn't bother me. I mean, I've spent a lot of time in the dentist chair, so you know, I'm kind of used to the sound of them. But
Yeah, those little bits are a lot stronger than you think they are.
when you start getting paid for your engraving work, you don't worry much about the sound of the drill, because there's guys that are making like $100 an hour doing this engraving.
I was going to say, the dentist drill part of it doesn't hurt me, but it does have an unusual whine or high pitched noise to it.
Right. when you get into doing the gun stocks, you know, and all the fancy work, maybe the knife blades and very intricate work, that's where they're pulling down the big money with these engraving tools.
Brenda, does the bit burn the wood as it engraves?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah, it's essentially a fancy wood burner, really, and it works a heck of a lot faster than what a wood burner tool does.
Now, the smaller bits will burn it, but when you get up into the bigger round carbide shaping bits, they won't burn it that much.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, is what you're wanting? Is that what you're wanting to do? Is the burn look?
Yeah, you want to kind of burn in your design on your pattern.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I noticed it was a little bit dark, but I didn't know if it was the camera doing that or what.
Here's a butterfly that I put on this. This is just a real thin little plaque, and it's essentially burnt in, but it's just outlined because I will end up painting this piece.
Right.
Now, normally what I do is I put my pattern on, I do my design, and then I stain the piece. But I have been known to paint them and then put stain over top of them. It really doesn't matter because you're just, staining the background on it.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works. And with the different bits, you can get different effects. If you go in with the ball bits, they've got 3 different sizes of the ball bits so that you can do your shadowing and that sort of thing if you want to do that. Here, I'll show you a bird that I did on one where I'm not going to paint this at all. I've already put the Krylon to this, but there's a bird, and up on the head, and the places on it where it's a little darker, I use the ball bit on it to do a little more shadowing on the piece.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, there's all different kinds of things you can do with them. There's a piece that I did that looks like stained glass on a piece of wood where I used metallic paint. So there's all different sorts of effects that you can get. And so all you need is a pattern and whatever surface that you're going to put your design on to get started and get your engraving tool and go to work on it.
So go ahead and continue. I got a couple of questions while you're going. So they're saying, does it? Can you actually carve something like? They're saying, does it actually do more carving? And I think what they're saying is, like, have you ever tried to do something like 3-dimensional type of carving with it?
Well, that's what this deer plaque is.
Yeah, I see that.
I started
right
the show with here.
Yeah, we'll look at that in a second. Yeah.
Yeah. See this. I raise it up maybe to the camera a little bit. You can see the deer stand up off of the background.
Right.
And I laid my patterns in the way I wanted, and I got everything situated the way I wanted. Then I did my outline with this straight bit.
Okay.
Then I went in with the thin ball bit, and then the medium-sized ball bit, and the bigger-sized ball bit, and I started going around to deepen the design around my deer and trees and leaves and stuff that I've got in this.
Right.
Once I got that part, the pattern part raised up, because it's sort of a relief pattern is what it is. Once I got my essential pieces of the pattern raised up from the background, then I went in with the Dremel because I had so much background to do that I needed something a little more powerful that was going to take out more material. And I stippled the background with the Dremel tool. Then I went back in with the ball bits and I did my outlines of the inside of the pattern where, there's lines defining the legs and the tail and the face and antlers and stuff on the deer and defining the trees and the leaves and all that. And I defined all that out. And when I was satisfied that I had everything the way I wanted it and I had the background deep enough, that's when I dusted the whole thing down, got all the sawdust and everything out of it, and I started laying the Krylon to it. That's got 10 coats of Krylon on it.
Wow. Looks nice though.
And
Brenda, do you ever use this on glass? Sorry if they already asked this, but
yes, I've done it on glass. You can take picture frame glass, and if you put behind it like an invitation, a wedding invitation, you can engrave. You're just copying the lettering onto the glass, and then you take like a piece of black construction paper and put it behind the glass and put it back in the frame, and you have the lettering all etched into the glass. Those are beautiful. I have done keychains, the leather keychains where you put people's initials in them and personalize them. I have done the knife handles where they want something special put on a knife handle. You can do the knife blades and put a design on knife blades. There's all kinds of things you can do with the engraving tool.
Wow.
Brenda, they have another question.
Certainly.
What are the diameters of the small, medium, and large ball?
A tiny bit bigger and a little bit bigger than that.
I knew that was coming. For that information, go to their website and you can get the diameter.
Yeah, it doesn't even tell you on the box what the sizes are on it. It just gives you like, number 8, number 9, and number 10 on them. So they probably give more information there on the site. But yeah, I just go by tiny, a little bit bigger, and a little bit bigger than that.
Yeah, Katie Dotson saying the carver without the compressor is $395.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, it depends on how set up you are. If you're satisfied that, you got the right regulator and everything that you need in order to do the job, then, you can go with whatever other tools you have there with your air compressor and regulator and all that. But, I suggest for anybody just getting started that you don't have the air compressor and all that, instead of running around and trying to find, this, that, and the other thing, just get the entire set so that you have everything that matches up. Follow their instructions on how to set it up, and then you're good to go. These things have turbo motors in them, and if you don't set them up right, you're going to blow that turbo motor out of them, and then you have to buy yourself a new tool. Right. So, when you're paying $400 for a tool, you don't want to do such things as that. Get what you need to start off with.
Michael Matthews says a couple of them are one is the 116 and one is the 132nd. That's the diameter of the ball bits.
Okay.
116.
Said we should continue to talk about this without turning it back on. I personally don't care, but we should do it once.
You can turn it back on. They'll just have to mute themselves.
But yeah, there's all sorts of things that you can carve with them. I do primarily wood, but I have also done gourds and just a myriad of different things that you can carve with them. And
Brenda, I'm curious. Have you worked with epoxy? I'm wondering, rather than the black line that gets burned in, you could pour epoxy in there and then sand it to reveal like a colored line. Can you get deep enough with the tool to hold epoxy?
Sure you could. There is a bit in here that is for that, basically. It says to make straight, deep cuts in wood. That's the number 12 bit. And got one here. I got one here someplace. Sometimes they have a tendency to end up in the wrong little holes, but yeah, it's a long straight bit. Put my hand behind it, maybe show it. But they're all just little teeny tiny bits, but yeah, depending upon how deep of a surface you're trying to get into, I would say that would probably be deep enough.
A wide enough trough, it will hold the epoxy.
Yeah, that is about a half an inch right there for going deep, and then depending on how many times you go back and forth over the line depends on how wide you're going to be making it.
Once you get the initial image on there, you can go back with a Dremel tool with a bigger bit on it.
Yeah. The Dremel tool, I had a practice piece up here and I don't see it right now. I was cleaning things up around here, and I never can find anything after I clean. But I took a peacock feather design and put it on a strip of wood. I actually did it twice. I had one on one end and one on the other end. And I took the Dremel tool and I etched it on one side. And then I took this tool and etched it on the other side. And there was a marked difference. The Dremel tool chewed the fire out of that piece of wood.
Right.
The power carver made it nice and smooth and made it look more professional, made it look like, you know, somebody that knew what they was doing with engraving had actually touched the wood. So it was a big difference. It was, you know, like difference between kindergartner doing it and somebody who had been through art school.
Well, see, that engraver is going at a far higher speed than the Dremel is.
Right.
Right.
Dremel, I use it more for hogging wood out.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, that power carver is probably going, you know, 4 or 5 times as fast.
Right.
Plus, I'm sure that being said, that the bits are designed for higher speeds over to match that speed of that power carver compared to what the Dremel is.
Right.
Yeah, you can't use a Dremel bit in that thing, even if it would fit. It'd blow it out.
Yeah, I was going to say it probably exploded.
Well, they even tell you on SCM's website that you should only be using the SCM bits because of the speed of the power carver.
Exactly.
The other bits will not hold up.
Yeah.
In it. And I have dulled these tips down because of using them so much. Just flat wore them out and not broke them. But I did break one bit, and I think, you know, after all the bits that I have gone through with all the carvings that I have done, breaking one of them, I mean, you know, that's miraculous, because I, you know, with as much as I use this thing, I should be breaking bits every time I turn around.
Yeah.
So there's some questions about the bits having diamond burrs in them.
Some do.
Okay.
I've got
probably some of them do, but not all of them, I'm sure.
No, not all of them. You got carbides and you got diamonds.
Right.
You can order, you know, whatever kind you want off the site, or you can get a whole box of bits and do different things with them.
Now, I'm sure your diamond would be more or less for glass etching and stuff like that, correct?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
And I try to keep those separate from the carbides by keeping them in little plastic bags, so that I know, you know, which ones are for glass and which ones are for the wood, because, you know, once you get them out of the sack, you don't remember which is which, and you're going to get them all mixed up. So I try to keep all the ones for glass in little plastic bags, so I know the difference in them.
Yeah.
Brenda, Dave Hart has a question about the designs and the paper. Can you go over that again?
Sure. The stuff is called peel and stick. And you can get the peel and stick paper from SCM, and you can, I always suggest strongly that you figure out what kind of a printer you have, and you'd be surprised how many people don't know what kind of printer they have. You've either got an inkjet or you got a laser. You're going to have to order your paper accordingly, because if you try to put inkjet paper through your laser printer, it's going to melt, and then you're going to have a mess. They sell both. So get the right paper for your printer when you order the paper, if you're going to print out your own designs on it. And this is what it looks like. It's just the plastic stuff on the backing. And you can print out your own designs. Or you can get packs of designs. I buy my packs of designs from a place called Welborn Gourd Farms. And they sell these packs. It's like 4 pages or 6 pages or something in a pack for about $10, and they got all kinds of different designs on a page. So they go by motifs. So if you wanted like Southwestern, you get Southwestern, or if you wanted floral, you get floral, or if you want cabin type designs like the fish and, you know, different things for cabin type background, then you would order those packs. So, you know, just go through them. They've got, I don't know, probably 30 different motifs of designs that you can pick from there, and order them that way. Now, I've done it both ways, you know, printed out. If somebody says, hey, you know, a lady asked me the other day for a snake. She wanted a snake done up on a plaque. Well, none of the patterns that I had snake on them. So, you know, I had to go and find a snake pattern and print out a snake pattern. So if you don't have the pattern that they need in your packs of patterns, then you can custom do whatever it is they want.
Very cool.
So, but like I say, you don't have to paint everything. You know, if you got some that look good without being painted, you can just do them like I've done my little bird here on this one. Or if you really want to make them look realistic, you can put a little acrylic paint to them or metallic paint, like I've done my stained glass design with metallics and really make it stand out. Got any more questions for me out there?
Let me see.
I think we're caught up.
Yeah, I think
If
so.
the chat could put questions again if we missed.
Yeah, if you've asked a question and we didn't get it, just make sure you repeat it a couple of times. Wait a few minutes and then type it back in so we can see it. There's awesome
buffalo that I did on a hair barrette, and there's some flowers that I did on a hair barrette.
Yeah, that's cool.
These are leather.
I got a question for you, Brenda.
Sure.
Here's what I find with a lot of things that we buy. They tend to work right out of the box and no worries. But then down the road, after using the appliance or machine, whatever tool, I have issues, and I contact the company, and I've had some of the companies really have really bad customer service. So my question to you is, have you dealt with the customer service end with them? Have you had to call the company for any reason, and how do they treat you, and how is their customer service?
The only contact I've had to have with SCM is to order more bits, and that's it. You know, the tool has held up extremely well. Like I say, I use it every day. I'm always engraving something with this tool every day. And, you know, as long as you follow their directions and set it up the way they say to set it up, don't try to second guess them, do what they say to do. They even told me in the directions that do not use, there was a DVD that came with it, and they said, do not use the PSI that tells you in the DVD. And I mean, they said it over and over again in the written directions. Do not use that PSI. Use this PSI. And it was 37 that they wanted it set up at. So I just, you know, said, okay, that's what they want done. So I set it at 37 PSI, and I have had no issues. You have to oil the tool, which is extremely easy. They send you a bottle of oil, and this is what the little bottle of oil looks like. Okay, it's just a little dropper bottle with oil in it. You put 1 to 2 drops of oil in the tube, in the air tube, every hour of use with the tool. So a bottle of oil is going to last you. I mean, you know, I've been running this thing for months now, and I've just used, maybe not even 3/4 of an inch of the oil in the bottle. So, yeah, that's probably going to last me 3 years or better.
That's not
That
too
is provided you don't
fair.
knock it off the table and step on it. I'm not saying how I know. Just
Yeah, you're not supposed to throw it on the floor and step on it. You're supposed to put 1 to 2 drops in the air hose after an hour's use.
Yeah, that's 2 reasons they tell you to do that. Number one, it's naturally for lubrication for the tool, but the second reason is also because of the moisture in the air through the air compressor injected in the tool. It helps keep it from rusting inside.
Exactly.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, most all of your, I know all my air nailers that I use in construction all require you to oil them. Matter of fact, we use some of them so much, I just put an automatic oiler on the compressor.
Mm-hmm.
So it automatically injects oil into the lines for all the guns. So I never have to oil the guns. But yeah, If you don't oil it, I guarantee you it ain't going to last for a long time.
Exactly. Yeah, you have to take care of your tools. Yep. And the other thing that they tell you with this is when you are done with it for the day or for your episode that you're using it, that you should bleed the line.
Yeah.
Which means you let the air run out. You unplug your air compressor, let the air run out of the tool, and that way you don't have built up pressure in there against your motor. So
that makes sense.
As long as you follow their rules and regulations, it should last. I mean, it's not like they're asking you to sell the farm. They just got a couple little things you got to do. Oil it and keep the pressure off of it when you're not using it. And,
Yeah. Michael wants to know, are any of the bits like a cutter or just like carbide coated?
Let's see here.
I don't know what he means by that. Maybe you understand that.
Okay, what it says here, you got diamond rounds used for glass and fine detail lines. You got diamond rounds used for glass and fine detail rounds. One's a little bit bigger than the other one. And then we got medium lines, and we got shading and wideness. And we've got medium lines. These are all for glass. Another fine line tool shaped a little bit differently. And we've got diamond metal calligraphy wheel. It's used for glass, writing, and shading. We've got carbide rounds used for wood, glass, metal, plastic for fine lines. And then another one that's a little bit bigger, and one that's a little bit bigger than that. And then we've got, let's see.
Yeah, none of those sound like what I would call a cutter would be something like, I don't know, with teeth on it to cut something,
No, not really. Nothing like that.
Yeah, I don't think so.
You're talking more of a Dremel type tool.
Yeah.
I got a Dremel that will do that.
Cutting wheels and stuff like that for like cutting metal. You don't want to do that with this.
Yeah, this is an engraving tool. This is made to put your lines in around a pattern piece or do writing with it.
Yeah, I think that the Dremel's more of a multi-purpose tool too.
Exactly.
And yeah, this is strictly for fine engraving.
Yeah, we've got carbide taper bits in this. There's several different sizes of those. And let's see, there's what they call a carbide egg, and that's used on eggs. If you want to do egg carving, I'm sure, a lot of people have seen the fancy designs that they do in eggs. You can do that with these tools. I've done a few designs on some eggs. Let's see, they got a wood glass. Pardon?
Wouldn't it go right through the shell?
Well, yeah, that's the idea. You want to engrave a design into the shell of the egg. You blow the egg and you're doing like the what do they call this?
That's called Fabergé eggs.
Fabergé. That's the word I was trying to think of. Thanks, Shane.
Because if you put a hole in the egg, the egg would come out of the. I guess
that's the first step you do. You got to empty the egg out.
Yeah, you got to blow them.
Dry the shell, and then you can use that egg for decorations, like what Brenda's talking about. My mom used to do it. She used an actual Dremel to do hers, and she sold her eggs for like hundreds of dollars.
Wow.
Yeah. What you do is you take the egg and you poke a hole in each end of it and you blow the inside of the egg out. Then you have to soak the shell in a vinegar solution, and that takes the membrane out of the inside of the shell. And then once you do that, you can start putting your design in on, whatever kind of design you're putting in. People put portraits in them. It depends on how fancy you are with your designs. But you can do all kinds of things, just like, you do your fancy scroll saw designs. You're just doing it with an engraver into an eggshell.
Tracy, and you will definitely get eggshell dust all over the place.
Oh, yeah. But if you're engraving on wood, you're going to get sawdust all over the place. So,
Not like you do with that eggshell.
Tracy Keaton says she uses a lot of ostrich eggs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are people out there that do that, ostrich eggs and stuff, and make big bucks on those things.
Yeah.
Jim Bashirs wants to know, have you ever had a glass project break on you while you're like carving it?
Nope. because you don't push.
Right.
You do not push the tool into it. You just glide it along, just like you're using a pencil.
Right.
You just glide it along the surface of whatever design you're trying to put in.
Hey, and Jim Dockrell says, sounds like exacting work.
Exactly.
But they're a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed my little carver. And like I say, I use it every day.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
like
just one of the things, once you get started, you can't put it down. You know, you have to, you see something, oh, I can draw on that.
Yeah, and I think that's the misconception with it. Like I said a little bit earlier, with some people, they're thinking that is like a Dremel, and their difference between night and day. Yeah, you can carve with a Dremel. I'm not saying you can't, but my point is a Dremel is more of a multi-purpose tool. It has grinding for grinding metal. It has cutting wheels for doing wood and metal. I mean, it has all kinds of different bits for it. And the bits are a lot larger too.
And it's not going to do the detail that an engraver tool will do.
This strictly is like for what she has is for engraving and engraving only. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't want to strap one of those Dremel saw bits to the end of that thing. I'd be scared of that thing to come flying off and cut your head off.
Yeah. Yeah, it wouldn't fit in it anyway. These are just real fine, tiny bits that go in these things. And I'm assuming they probably do that for a reason, to keep people from slapping a Dremel bit in these things.
Well,
and hurt with it.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure.
I guarantee you there's some redneck out there that's going to try and figure it out.
That's right.
We're going to grind it. By the way, egg jokes are flying in the
somehow I've lost the chat. I can't see.
Does extraordinary work. Jim Dockrell said, I bet it's exciting.
Well, yeah, I was just sitting here thinking about putting one of those, the wheels you use for cutting metal, the grinding wheel or whatever. You lose the grinding wheel before you ever cut anything with it.
Yeah.
Because it moves so fast.
Yeah.
Are the engraving bits expensive?
Well, it depends on how many of them that you're going to buy at a time and how many you need. If you get a whole kit of them, I think it runs about $179 for an entire kit full of bits. Then, if you want to get specialized bits over top of that, you're going to buy those. But you can buy individual bits. You don't have to buy the entire kit full of bits. But since I engrave with it every day, I wanted the entire kit of bits. I didn't want to say, oh, I want to engrave on glass today and then go to my bit box and I don't have any glass bits.
Right.
And then they got to wait in the mail, a week to get anything. No, I wanted it and I wanted it now. So I just got the entire kit of it. And that way I have it. If I dull them all down and, need more bits, then I can just order whatever individual bits that I need to fill my box back up.
I think you ought to go back to and do a little bit of more engraving on the horse and show us more.
You want a little more whirring going on?
Yeah, I mean, the sound doesn't bother me. I want to see.
Unless you got an ostrich egg. Got an ostrich egg you can carve on?
Yeah, you got an ostrich egg.
I don't happen to have any ostrich eggs on hand.
Yeah, I do this too, so you're definitely not going to bother me.
You can tell how much I just love Ken Moon right now.
Well, I want to see her use it to get an idea how,
But on the videos I've made with this thing, I've had the same comments about the dentist drill, which is why I've never offered to do this on your show to avoid getting.
Yeah.
Hey, Michael Matthews says that the sample box is around $70.
Okay.
And he's turning the sound down.
Yeah, y'all can turn your sound down.
So it seems like if you want to go all in, it's about $1,000 will get you set up with the compressor, the tool, the bits, the paper. Does that seem fair? About $1,000?
Yeah, I had to save up for mine. I'm not made of money. I'm on Social Security and retired and all that. So, I had to save up. It wasn't, I just run in and said, oh, I think today I'll just buy me an engraving tool. No, I had to take my time and save up my money and be able to buy it. And I caught it on sale, so that helped a little bit too. They do have sales.
What we'll do is that
my sister got one of these, got the set up with the sandblaster and the engraver and all that, and she never used it. And asked, I was doing stuff to drill use it. I said, yeah, sure. She ain't never got it back.
We'll let everybody know. We'll give everybody thumbs ups all down the panel whenever the sound goes. Whenever she quits engraving, we turn it off so y'all know it's clear.
I wonder, Brenda. Well, more of an observation. Some of this output, some of these projects you're making, kind of look like they could be done with a CNC carver. Have you ever thought about getting a CNC machine and doing?
Well, I thought about it, but finances just don't allow me to do things like that. I figured, with the, I can't with the CNC, you can't do the eggs,
right?
And there's certain things that a CNC can't do that an engraving tool would do. I think it would probably be, now I've never messed with a CNC machine, but I think maybe doing gun stocks or knife blades or the handles on knives and that sort of thing might be a little more difficult. If you're going to set them up at a show, which I have not done that yet with this, but if there are people that do, if you're going to set up at a show so that you can do personalized engraving on knives or that, because there's guys that set up at the different gun and knife shows and do personalized engraving on things. If a CNC machine would be very difficult, I think, to transport to, set up for that kind of thing, where this is fairly portable.
It definitely seems like this tool has advantages over a CNC, and the CNC has a few advantages over this.
Right.
Like this tool could do rounded objects with ease.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That would be difficult on a CNC machine.
Yeah. I can do salt and pepper shakers with this. Put the S and the P on them, or wine bottles if somebody wants to have those personalized with name engraved in them or something like that. I can do that. Any kind of a round object you can do with them.
Need to bring your pattern to the center of the camera.
Okay. I keep getting notifications here on my screen, and I can't see what where I'm at there.
What is the little thing in the center in the back that you push or pull? That is to release the collet for the bits, right?
Exactly.
Yes, Jim Mashears. That's to release the collet to release the bits.
That's something you should never push while the tool is running.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If you want to release the bit, you just plunge that down. The bit pops out of it. Then you unscrew the bottom down here. You pop your new bit in, and then you push it firmly down so you hear the click. And when you hear the click, you know that it's seated, and then you screw the bottom part on, and it's ready to rock. You hit the air, and you're ready to go.
Cool.
And there's a couple of them bits that don't hold your hand in front of when you pop it out either.
And how do you know that, Donald?
I ain't saying, I just know.
Brenda, I've got a question for you.
Certainly.
What is the longest time, or a project that you've done? What's the longest that it's taken you to engrave?
Well, the deer, I've got over 20 hours in that deer carving.
Wow.
Because, I put a lot of pattern to that. Some people say that it's really busy, but see, that's kind of the way things go on in my mind. My mind is always busy. There's a whole lot going on in there. A lot of it people don't even want to know.
How big a compressor do you need? I heard 35 pounds, right? PSI?
37.
37?
Well, the regulator, you set it to 37 PSI. The Donald could probably give you more information. That's technical. I don't get into the technical.
You can actually use a 1.5 gallon air compressor on it,
like a pancake compressor.
Yeah, the ones that like you get at Harbor Freight with the two little tubes on it, the real small ones.
Right.
You can use it, but you're going to be sitting there waiting every once in a while for it to fill back up before you get back up to power.
Okay.
I got a 6-gallon one over there. That's 150 psi. That pancake compressor. I never run it.
Well,
Probably
Mama,
do
what
with
does
2
it
to 3
say on
gallons.
the what does it say on the SCM website there that the air compressor that they send with it?
That's a good question.
Because that's what I got with mine.
Is it actually 400,000 RPM?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I was just about to say, it's like 10 times more than a Dremel. A Dremel's like Dremel goes from like 15,000 to like 40,000, somewhere in that range right there, and because it's variable speed, this thing is like out of this world.
You know, talk about speed. It's a little off topic, but Matt, you've got an X-Carve, correct?
I do.
It has a DeWalt on it.
Yes, the 611.
Do you run it? Yeah, same as mine. Do you run it at 1?
I've been told to use 1 in almost all circumstances.
Yeah.
I wasn't doing that until I recently learned.
I learned it the other day also. It's not topic, but it was like, it just made me think of that when we were talking RPMs.
They say, some bits, they're not designed to go faster than 1.
Well,
someone gave me a breakdown of what the RPM is for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Tracy Keaton said, since it's run by an air compressor, I would think that it's quite a big difference in RPMs. Yes, and that's one of the reasons too. Air can produce more RPMs in this thing than electricity probably could. CFM uses. Jim Docker wants to know about the CFM usage.
I don't think of that. I really don't think it says.
Yeah, you'd have to look that up on their website, Jim.
I actually found that it's low air requirements of 1.0 CFM at 45 psi.
There you go. So that's not a lot.
The one that comes with it is a 3/4 horsepower oilless compressor. Supplies constant airflow to handpiece. Adjustable air pressure. It doesn't really say what size it is.
What's the name of
it? You actually have the same tool?
Yeah, he has the same one.
What's the name of the tool again?
It's called a Power Carver.
Power Carver.
Yes. Mine's the model I had. Do what now?
Does air blow out of the tip while you're using it?
There's a little vent in front of it that'll blow out of it.
Top of it, you feel the air come out of it. I'll use it sometimes if I'm working on a project and it's getting real dusty, I just turn it upside down and just kind of blow the dust off of it a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. I did that a lot on that deer pattern that I did, but on something like this where I'm just doing some outlines.
It doesn't get hot like a Dremel does it?
No. Cool as a cucumber.
It's moving so fast by the time you break the wood, it pulled off. And actually, the hand piece, I've had it using it when it was cold in the shop, and it would actually get cold on my hand. I have to put it down.
Yeah, because of all the air movement through it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Can you cut the project sometimes twice? Yeah, you could go over the line 2 or 3 times.
See, when I'm doing my relief carving, I'll do what she's doing here. Then I'll go back and do the carving, the details, and all that stuff. So you can do it however much you want to, as long as you got material to work with.
Yeah, that's what I did with the deer. I did my basic lines like I'm doing now, and then I went back in with the ball bits. I started with the little one, and then I went with the one that's a little bigger, and then the one that was a little bigger than that, and took it down as deep as I wanted it to go. And once I had that accomplished, then I went in with the Dremel tool and did the background stippling. And then I went in with the other bits to do my detailed work on my design. So, yeah, you can go over it as many times as you want to.
Yeah. Yeah, James Parker. Yeah, if you don't like it, if you don't cut it deep enough the first time, yes, you can go back over it and cut it more. It allows you to do that.
Yep, they do.
Yeah, and Tracy Keaton said that's one thing worst about the Dremel. It overheats. Yes, I've held it. You start holding on to a Dremel for a long period of time, especially in carving, that thing starts getting hot, starts getting warm. But once again, you're talking about an electric motor compared to an air-driven turbine or inside this thing.
I love this a lot more than I do wood burning. Now, I do wood burning too, but I love this a lot more than wood burning. It goes a lot faster. It's not hot. It's just more pleasant to me than the wood burning.
Now, with me, I like it better because with the wood burning, there's no resistance to your tool, so you're slipping all over the place with it. On this, you got the resistance of the wood, so the wood actually holds your hand a little bit steadier on it.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
And like I say, you have more professional type results with this than if you're messing with a Dremel, because the Dremel's just going to chew your wood all up.
Dan Ingy said that noise would drive me nuts.
Well, you can always put on some headphones.
Oh yeah, you can put something on to block the noise. Cut that it's got that. Well, that's what
people want to start. People want to start handing you $100 bills for your engraving work. You start ignoring the noise you're getting from the engraving tool.
Exactly.
You probably after a while stop hearing it. It burns anyway.
Jim Dockrell said after a quick search, the greediest of them will only take about 2 CFM. So yeah, small compressors will work. Yeah, it doesn't require a large amount of air and airflow. Now I have, I don't even know the brand name of this stupid thing. I was looking at it earlier. Let me type in something over here and see if I can find a brand name.
But I was using one that came with the little nail gun that you got at Harbor Freight or whatever. And it was only like I don't know, it might have been a 1 gallon container, and it just ran out of air quicker than what am I trying to say? You'd be working along and it'd run out of air and you'd have to stop and wait for it to fill back up.
Yeah,
but I would assume if you got something like a 2 gallon or a 3 gallon, you'd be fine. I've got that 6 gallon and I don't have any problems at all. Which, I mean, I just had that one because the other stuff I do in the shop, I need something a little bit heavier anyway.
Clear off the screen so I can see where I'm at here. There we go. Well, I had it off. There we go. I got some more design down here on the bottom of it.
Yeah, I can't find a brand for it. But mine, it will take like a Dremel. It's sort of like a Dremel, but it's air. Mine will take actual Dremel bits on mine. And I've used it. Now I have this hooked to my regular big 100-gallon compressor that's out back of the shop. that feeds the whole shop and everything. And what I do on it now, I don't have it on it right now because the compressor hasn't been on, so it's really, really low on air. But I run 150 psi on my system, and this thing only requires about 60 pounds, so I have to have a little regulator to put on mine to bring the pressure down.
Yeah, well, this air compressor runs a lot more psi. That's why we have the regulators.
Right. Yeah.
To pull it down.
Yep. Yeah, I made
Otherwise
a little adapter. I'll show mine off after you get through.
And the one I got actually has a moisture catcher in the underneath the regulator.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't get everything out. That's why you still need to oil it.
Yeah. Exactly. Michael says the compressor that comes with the kit is 4 gallons. So it's a 4-gallon air compressor.
So me not being technical, I just, they say what it takes for it to do it, and that's what I get.
Yeah, exactly. You do what it says.
That's right.
Yeah, see, 4 gallon, with a 4 gallon, you wouldn't have the problem I was having with that 1 or 2 gallon. Would run out of air. So.
You can be really creative with this. Katie Dotson said that if you wanted, you could go back and add some shading with the woodwork.
Yeah, well, and you can even add shading with the engraving tool depending on what kind of bits that you use. Donald can back me up on that with some of the work that he's done.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. I like how small the bits are, and because trust me, I've tried to do it with my carver, and it don't do like that.
I can't get over how fast it spins. That's
right.
insane.
Right.
Yeah, it spins pretty doggone fast.
Have you ever nicked your finger or touched it to your skin?
I've gotten close to it, but it's never cut me.
I've tapped my fingernail with it before, and it woke me up before I really did any damage with it.
Were you trying to trim your fingernail, or?
No, you're just moving stuff along, and you happen to brush your fingernail with the tip of the tool because it's so small you forget about it. It's like holding a pen. Sometimes you hit your hand with it.
Well, you see, that's what I like about it. It's that, look how small she's able to put those lines in those flowers. That's like awesome.
And then after a while of using it, you get used to the noise, so you don't even realize you're holding the tool half the time.
Yeah, it's just like going around it with a pencil.
Yeah.
That's how simple it is.
No, I like that.
Look how fast I did that entire plaque.
I know, that's like, wow.
And then once you get your design in there, you peel your pattern paper off. Now, it takes longer to take the pattern paper off than it does to do any of the rest of it, because every place that you have cut with that carver cuts out a piece of pattern. So you have to go over each little piece to peel the pattern paper off of it. And, when then let's say that I think I've got all the pattern paper off. And so I start trying to lay stain to it, and I don't have all the pattern paper off. Wherever you hit it with the stain, you're going to see the glisten on that pattern paper.
Can you put painter's tape down and then rip it off and get it all in one go?
Well, then you'd have to be cutting. Well, you mean after the design is cut in?
Correct.
You could probably try that and see if that would work, but not necessarily, because like I say, this pattern paper is plastic. It's a very thin plastic, very, very thin. I forget how many microns. That's how thin this stuff is. And when you burn through it with the engraver, sometimes it'll get stuck in the grooves around in your design. And that's the primary reason that I'll miss it. When I'm picking it out, it gets stuck in there. And then I go to putting the stain to it, and there's a piece I missed. So you got to go back, pick that out, clean that up, and brush it down, and then go back with your stain. So it'll take longer to take pattern paper off of your design than it will to ever do the design.
Yeah.
And
Dave Hart
run over it with a paint scraper. And go back and pick
card scraper.
Yeah. Dave Hart said it's time to rinse and spit now.
We're just getting through the root canal, buddy.
I'm thinking that I need to go back to school and get me a dental degree now that I got the tool. I can go to making the money that them dentists is making.
Yeah, for real.
We were talking the other day about her tooth hurting. I was like, come here, I'll take care of you.
Hey, Brenda, can we see you practice on Donald's teeth?
I ain't got the one.
Okay, it'll be a trailer video.
Say up here on the top of his head, we get this under the camera. You can see up here on the mane, you got all these little teeny pieces. Nope, not quite.
Nope. There we go. Now we can see.
There we go. All these little teeny tiny pieces up there on the forelock and down the mane. And you just got to rake them all off of there. Sometimes they get stuck and you got to kind of go in with the stylus and pick them loose. Cool. Just keep going. The eyeball, you make sure you get it all off these little teeny tiny places.
That did go real quick compared to what I thought.
Yeah. See, if you was doing it with a wood burner, it would take all day
to
do this with a wood burner. But
that went really fast compared to what I thought it would.
Here in a few minutes, you got a whole thing engraved.
You ever tried Robbie Sidney said, you ever tried a Scotch-Brite pad?
No.
Okay. Then Tom Spillane said card scraper, but somebody here mentioned that.
Yeah, can you? Actually, he was the one that mentioned it earlier.
Okay.
Yeah, because a card scraper is supposed to take off like really thin layers of wood.
It does. It takes off a very small amount.
Wonder if it would catch the.
That's a good question.
And there, if you're working on something for a customer and the wood's already stained or whatever, you kind of got to be careful there too.
Yeah.
Wow, that's nice.
But
Brenda, you missed a place on the name of the horse. On the mane of the horse. Mane of the horse. Sorry.
Right behind the ear. Yes, ma'am.
Nope, it's all off of there now.
Okay, I was wrong.
It looks like it wasn't burned in or carved in. But I guess it is.
All right, that's pretty cool.
And I have made mistakes, when I'm burnt and missed a spot, and then I get it off and like, oh, well, I missed that. Well, you just go back with a carver and you put the line in, that's your artistic integrity. Where you say, well, that's where I think the line should go. So, you just take the carver and you put the line in there.
Exactly.
I've done it before and missed a whole main piece or something, and there was some foul language going on.
There's no mistakes, only little happy spots.
So then you also should have a picture of what it is that you're trying to do, so that you can go back and look at the picture and say, okay, well, this is how they want this done, and you can follow the picture to a certain extent and see what needs to be done. But I can look at the picture now and see the shading, where the shading should be on the horse, and put in whatever needs to be done on it.
Yep.
I still have my designs off Google Images anyway. So.
I didn't know if you want to change the camera back, Katie.
Katie. Wow. Oh, it's Debbie.
Katie. That's who we're missing tonight. We should have had Katie on tonight.
It went from Brenda to Debbie to Katie. Okay. I wonder how many more names I'm going to come up with before.
That's the sign of getting old.
Yeah. Anyway, Brenda, if you want to change the camera back so we can see you before we get off here.
Actually, you're in the same boat as my mom and daddy. That was just the result of having 5 kids. She went through all 4 other names before she ever got to mine.
Yeah.
Oh, Santa!
Well, there was me and my brother, and she used to call us Jesus Christ and damn it.
That's what I call my dogs.
Yeah, she's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, see, Daddy always say you look son of a, and
she hollered out one day, "Damn it!" And I just sit there for a little while, and she said, "Damn it, come here." I said, "No, Mom, you're wrong. I'm Jesus Christ."
Well, Santa, as long as you don't forget Carter's name, then you'll be okay. But soon
Yeah,
you
I'll be
forget
all
his
right.
name, you'll be trouble.
Yeah, I'll be all right, Katie. That's funny. Katie, bless your heart, Russ. That was totally uncalled for.
Great job. Great job, Brenda. Did a great job.
Love
Thank
you.
you.
Love you.
Yeah,
I hope you enjoyed that little tour
will
of the.
y'all all come and visit me, and when I get put in the old folks home here shortly?
What's your name again?
Yeah.
Russ,
My name's not Katie. My name is Brenda.
My wife said. Now this is what my wife said the other day, and I'm not supposed to say this. So anyway, she was, because I told her about that. She went back and looked and was laughing at it, and she said she's going to get a T-shirt that says "I'm not Debbie," and she's going to take a selfie of it and post it just for you, Brenda.
There you go.
Ain't there a country song of "My Name's Not Julie" or something like that?
My name's not Lisa.
But Lisa,
Crystal Gale sang that one.
Crystal said, yeah,
That's it.
yeah. She said, "I want to get a shirt that says I'm not Debbie and take a picture of it with me and a selfie and post it just for Brenda so she can see that." And I said, "Hey, I'm sorry, I can't. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with her name. That's all right. That one night when Al and Paul were on, or no, it was Paul was in my ear. I kept calling him Al over on Scrolling with Russ. I'd say, 'Hey, Al,' and there'd be a pause, and I'd say, 'Al,' and there'd be another pause, and he'd go, 'If you're talking to me, I'm Paul.'" I said, "Oh, that's right. You're in my ear tonight, Paul." So yeah, I'm getting mad.
I just have to get a T-shirt that says no. It says my name's not Taylor.
All right. Well, yes, that was very interesting. I appreciate you being on tonight. A lot of people learned about power carving, and two things that I really like that you do that I had never seen before. Number one, I like the paper, and I want to get that information. You can put it into a comment if you want to after the show's over. So about what paper you use.
Okay.
Because that's very interesting. I like that idea. It would make the patterns a lot easier to do than it would be. I mean, you could do them on tracing paper, but that's kind of a pain in the butt, especially since you just print it and stick it to it.
I have done that. I have used carbon paper. I know, last week they was talking about graphite. Graphite will work. Carbon paper will work too. If you're using carbon paper, then you just go over it with a light sanding. When you're done, make sure that you got all the lines off of it. And I've done that with patterns. But this stuff, it doesn't say on these that I got from SCM what the name of it is, but it is their paper, which is the same exact thing as the peel and stick that I get from Welborn Farms that has the designs already on it. So, you can either get them plain from SCM or you can get designs on them from Welborn Gourd Farms.
Yeah.
Hey, I've even printed stuff out on the paper and used the little kids sticky glue.
Yeah.
Glued it on there real flat.
I was wondering if you could print it out on white paper and you do it like I do a scroll saw pattern and then carve it.
You could. Sure.
Yeah. I was wondering about that. That might work too. But the advantage of the plastic is too, I guess, well, I was thinking you could see through it, but I guess you need to see through it. So
the only reason that you would need to see through it is if you have wood that has imperfections in it and you're trying to avoid those imperfections where you're laying the pattern. Because I have had these slabs where they have knot holes and stuff in them, and I arrange the pattern so that the knot hole actually fits into the design of the wood.
Right. See, that would be a big advantage of having what you're using, so you could see those imperfections.
Yeah.
And I've if you're doing names or something like that on wood or whatever that already has a design on it, and you're trying to avoid hitting that design to put that signature on it, that comes in handy.
Yeah.
Katie Dodson said, "Good show. Many thanks to Brenda or Debbie or Katie or." Oh, I gotta love you people out there that make so much fun of me. You're going to be that way one day. You're going to make these mistakes, and I'm going to laugh at you too. So,
well, it would be up my alley, Russ, though, you know, to have a different name and then just call all my channels BrendaG's Designs, you know. No, it's BrendaG's Design, but my name's Sally.
Yeah, my name's Sally. John Schaffner says, thanks for the excellent demo. Excellent demo.
Excellent.
Yeah, and he did call you Brenda. So
there we go.
By the way, I'm hungry now for some reason. I don't know why.
I'd like to have some eggs and bacon and biscuits and pancakes.
I need to go brush my teeth.
They want some scrambled eggs from them eggs that got blowed.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you for all of y'all being out there in the chat. And I really appreciate it. James Parker, Tom Spillane, John Schaffner has been out there. Russ, John Schaffner said, Russ, growing old is exasperating. They're still on that egg kick out there. It was rather exciting. Wow, they're still on that kick. Robbie Snyder, Sydney, I'll try to get it right. Tracy Keaton. Michael Matthews has been out there. Michael was on last week he did the wood burning. I'm getting off here before I really mess up. Last year, James Parker, just trying to go back through. Dave Hart's been out there. I got it. Dave Hart, I'm working on your no coffee, no work. You got it all stained and everything. I'm shooting some lacquer on it so I can send it to you. I was supposed to send him the one I made on the show, and my cat knocked it off the shelf and broke it. So I had to make him another.
Your cat ate it?
The cat didn't eat it. I had it out sitting on one of the workbenches where I'd shot a couple of 2 or 3 coats of lacquer on it. And the cat got locked in the shopper somehow. And the next morning when I was out there, he would have been walking around on top of the workbenches and knocked that thing off and broke it. So I had to make another one.
You couldn't just glue it, Russ, and send it to him?
I could have, but I'm not going to do that. I could have. Ken McCrory's been out there just trying to go back through and see who's all been, so I can thank y'all all for watching very much so in being out there in the chat. And thank you to Shane and Shelley, Paul, Al, Ken, Matt Haas, Donald, and Chris for being on. And a big thank you to Miss Brenda. Thank you very much for being on tonight.
Thank you, sir.
And thank you, Russ, for letting us be on tonight.
Thank you. We enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was a very good job. I learned a lot about power carving. Just real quick, I'll show you on mine. I don't know what brand it is or whatever, but it's air also. But this can use the Dremel bits in it, and the reason this plastic tube is on here is because the air does escape from the back of the tool, and that gets it away from the tool on down. In other words, so when it's turned on, see.
Good thing it wasn't on it. It got tangled in your beard.
Yeah. I was trying to say, don't do that, man. That ain't fun. Again, don't ask me how I know.
Don't drop it in your lap.
There's hardly any air in the tank out there. I haven't had the compressor on it, so it's not running. But the air is coming out through the end of this down here.
That'll still hurt, Russ.
Yeah, I bet it would. And then I exchanged it over to, I made this little adapter tube so that I could hook it up to the big air compressor hose. Mm-hmm. Now, one thing that's not in mine that should be, and the only reason I plugged it in, this system usually has 150 PSI, and that only takes like, I think I said 50 or 60 PSI. But one thing that normally is in line here, that if I had 150 PSI on the system, I wouldn't have plugged it in, but I knew the compressor hadn't been plugged in a while, so it was down real low. But I made a little regulator, so I can just plug this into here and then plug the hose in there and then set this down to 100 or down to 50, 60 PSI for mine. Right. Mine's more like I mean, it does pretty high speed, don't get me wrong, but it's more like the Dremel high speed. I bet you that thing only does like maybe 50, 60,000 RPMs. Yours does 400,000 or close. Right. So there's a big difference on that. So, but anyway, thank you again, Brenda. I really appreciate it. Thank you for everybody being on there. Thank you for everybody out there. And Nick, oh yeah, we can do that.
You're welcome for your dental work.
Just reminding me of the shop confessions.
Yeah.
You know what the shop confessions is, Brenda?
Yeah. But
what's something?
We went through that before, and I really don't have any. I've been pretty lucky. The only thing that I had was where I dropped the air compressor on my foot.
There you go.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. That was.
I mean, that's minor compared to what y'all have been through.
Well,
through your hands and.
I'll bless you and tell you that you won't have any more compressors fall on your foot anymore.
Just blow it off. Blow it off.
Yeah.
Well, she's got another foot to drop it on still.
I got arthritis in my hands, and when I pick the thing up, my hand just, my mind tells me that I can do things that my arthritis says that I cannot do. So when I picked it up, my hand said, "Oh no, you don't," and so I dropped it, and my foot just happened to be in the way.
Yeah.
Oops.
All right, guys, we're gonna call it a night. Only one thing we got left to do, and that is, just give me. I started to sing the song for over there. Let's talk shop with Russ. Just give me sawdust, lots of sawdust, all around me and everywhere. I like it flying all around my shop and even in my beard and hair. Thank you for watching. Have a good
Bye, everybody. Thanks for
You
stopping
don't
by.
have to go home, but you
Bye,
can't
y'all.
stay here.
Bye, y'all.